Okay, what's up, YouTube? We back at it again. So, this is what I want to talk about. Somebody asked a question about shade, and when I moved to this property, I will tell you, before I even bought it, I looked at it, and first of all, if anybody's not familiar with my property, y'all would know I cleared all that. That huge pile right there. Let me show y'all. So y'all remember, this ain't the same pile. I burned the other one down. This is a new pile. I'm gonna show y'all where I got all this from. And this pile, once again, is 5 feet tall. Well, actually, it's probably 6 feet, because y'all see all that at the top? That's taller than me. Y'all see all that over there? I cleared all that back there. All this on the other side of the compost bins. This was a huge pine tree that fell. I chopped the whole pine tree up. You can see where the stump is. I got to fill that in. But all this back in this corner, I could not walk back to this fence back here. And y'all see the flags. That's actually where my property line ends, but they put that fence there like that, and I'm not going to complain about it. Because it was that way before I got here, so it is what it is. Anybody familiar with crepe myrtles? Those in North Carolina, South Carolina, y'all probably familiar. Y'all ever seen them with the freaking trunks this big? Probably only. I've never seen them in Texas this big, but look how far up it go. It go way up there. It's fighting for light with these oaks. But yeah, these crepe myrtles have to be probably 50 years old. So they kind of sentimental to me because you never see them that big. I've never seen them that big. There's a couple of places where they even. That's one over there too. But you'll see they actually intermingled with the oak. That was a pine tree that died, fell over, whatever. But y'all can see I got to do something with this foolishness. That foolishness got to go. But y'all can see, anybody who knows my channel, y'all know this is a work in progress. You can see over there. You can, all this where you can walk at, you could not walk over here. I cleared all this stuff. And you can see how it's kind of growing back. I gotta weed eat. I gotta weed eat all that down. But it's like a freaking jungle. It grows real quick. I got sorghum planted back there. Y'all see that grass looking stuff? That's sorghum. And I gotta burn this. But it's hot now and I can't burn it. So it's still have to stay for now. Will the city come pick it up? Yeah. But to haul all of this way out there? Nope, not doing it. I'm not breaking my back doing that. So, back to what this video is about. Sun versus shade. Y'all look up. Y'all see that? All the way around. Trees, trees, trees. Oop, there's an opening. Sky. Trees, 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 trees. But if you look down on the ground, you'll see dapple sunlight. It's not just pitch black back here. You see all that sunlight? It's actually bright. I'm gonna be honest. When you look at it on a camera versus your eyes, it looks much different. So if you have property and you're wondering about the lightness of it, take your phone camera. You don't have to record it. You don't have to put it on YouTube. Just turn your phone camera on. Look at your screen and look at how bright it looks versus when you look at it with your eyes. And the reason I'm telling you to do that is your eyes actually aren't that good at picking up a lot of things. That's why cameras can focus much better on things than a human eye can. It is what it is with technology. Now cameras can't focus as fast as your eye can focus. Your eye is faster. But think about it. These cameras can do 5K and whatever, all this crap they doing. Your eyes can't do all that. So, I'm saying all that to say, if you have a lot of trees, don't let the first thing be, oh, I can't grow nothing because I got all these trees. That's not true. Let me show y'all what I call my shade gardens. And believe it or not, all this pretty much is going to turn into a food forest. It's just, this is a huge project. Over 2/3, let me show y'all. Y'all see where this grass start? That was the only part of the yard that was clear. Now I'm going to turn around and show y'all. All the rest of it was jungle. And if you think I'm lying, I got videos showing me clearing it. All that jungle. It was all jungle. Where this grass starts to get thick, that's the only place that was clear. The only place. All that over there, jungle. It's growing back. I got the weed eat that down. When I tell y'all, I be on top of it. I be trying to stay on top. See? I got the weed. See how this stuff do? But I fight with it. But, you know, it is what it is. But don't let the first thing be I can't grow because I got trees. That's absolutely not true. In most cases, if you don't have no openings like during the day, and that's another thing, come out during the day and see when your tree gets sun. It's about 10:30 right now. Y'all see my trees getting sun right now. They getting sun. It's coming through there, and the sun gonna travel across that gap, and they gonna get about 2 or 3 hours of sun right there, and then they will be shaded from this tree all the way until they get. Let me show y'all. I have to walk different areas. And this is what I had to do when I got my property, because at first I thought I wasn't going to be able to grow either. Okay? So, sun comes through, this tree right here shades it all the way till it gets here. Here. When the sun gets here and travels across, because that's the direction the sun sets over there, it's going to travel across this gap here, and the sun is going to shine right down through there on them trees and on what I call my shade gardens. Now, when I first moved here, I did an experiment. If y'all remember way back in the day, or go back in my old videos about 3 or 4 years ago, I didn't have this many tires. I had maybe 4 or 5, and they were only singles. They weren't doubles. And I had tomatoes planted back here. And that was the best performing cherry tomato. Like, the tomatoes I had in the front didn't perform half as good as one back here. And for the longest, I couldn't figure out why. Because in my zone, the sun beats down so hard and so heavily. Keep in mind I'm in Texas, and I'm going to tell you this. If you in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, I'm going to venture to say all them states, because we all have very similar weather across all them states. I'm going to venture to say you could get away with growing in the shade. If you regularly get 100-degree temps in the summertime, and that ain't nothing new to you, like you like me, you already know it's coming. Just go on and get ready. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts that you know you're going to get 100-degree temps. And it gets 100 degrees quite regularly in June, July, August, September. You can benefit from some shade. These trees, when they were not planted like this to where they get a certain amount of time, because when the sun is at its highest point, at its hottest point, these trees are shaded. They don't have to deal with that sun cooking them. But then when the sun starts to recede and go down some, and it's less intense, they get some more sun. So they get some sun in the morning when it's not as intense. They get shaded when the sun is at its most intense. And then they get some more sun when the sun's intensity, drops off some. Y'all watch these tomatoes. I'm putting you on notice right now. I'm going to keep you updated. Keep watching. If you're not subscribed and you're not getting your notifications, make sure you subscribe and press the bell so you'll know. And you'll see what I'm saying. Because, see, I don't just talk a good game and then, don't nothing come of it. No. I want you to see. See what I'm talking about. Watch how these tomatoes produce. Watch how these trees going to continue to thrive. Believe it or not, when I was in Florida, something I noticed. I noticed when I was in Florida, the orange trees grow remarkably well in the shade and produce fruit. See, I thought that they would grow in the shade but not produce fruit. They actually produce fruit in the shade. If you think I'm lying, that's a kumquat. If you think I'm lying. And once again, I repotted these when they had blooms on them, so a lot of the fruit fell off. That's an orange. Where's that other one? That's an orange. And we're going to see if that bloom again, because usually this tree blooms 3 or 4 times. So does this one. So, but once again, I just got them in the ground. So, I'm still kind of monitoring them and learning what they're going to do. I think they still getting acclimated, but I think they do like their spot. Because this one actually got kind of yellowish on me, but then it greened right back up. The orange tree never yellowed on me, but it put out a ton of blooms. I hadn't seen that many blooms in a long time. So, don't always think you got to cut all your trees down. Also, I'm going to cut that limb out. Y'all see that limb going out there? Y'all see all that canopy is giving? I am going to cut that limb out. Show you another limb I'm going to cut out. I'm going to cut this limb out. See how much, look how much. Y'all see all this down here? That's all off that one limb. And when I do that, that's going to allow this to get a little bit more evening sun. So yes, do limb your trees. Like for instance, that limb is coming out of that tree. It's gonna get rid of that. So yeah, limb your tree. You can limb your trees up and let the dappled sunlight come through, so you get filtered sunlight. Because I'm gonna tell you now, if you're in the zone that I'm in and stuff be cooking, and I venture to say, even these places that only get to 90 to something, the sun is very intense. Do not be scared to try. If you want, put a container in the shade and try. Like, you don't know until you try. You want everybody else to answer all the questions for you. You really won't know until you try. You know what I'm saying? How much is it gonna hurt you to put one tomato in the shade and see how it do? If it don't do well, you'll know. I'm telling you, in the heat of the summer, the tomatoes I had back here were the only ones still producing. Because they were the only ones that was cool enough, the pollen stayed cool enough for it to be viable for the tomatoes to actually set fruit. Because tomatoes will continue to bloom for you, but when it get hot, they won't set no fruit because the pollen is just being cooked. It's not viable. Whereas the stuff I have in the front, when the sun is at its highest peak, oh my God, that stuff just like wilts down and looks crazy. Previous to those trees being right there, I had my trees where these figs are. And I want y'all to pay attention to what I did, because I didn't have to put them here. I could have put them somewhere else. Like for instance, I could have put them out there where it's sunny. But I put them over here on purpose. Why? See how they getting a little, see all these little sun spots? They getting spots of sun. And they produce plenty figs. The blackberries, they produce plenty blackberries. Blackberries are weed, they'll grow anywhere. They'll grow in the sun and the shade. And look how many berries. Do that look like that plant is struggling? But look here. It gets shaded until the evening sun. When the evening sun goes over that way and sets, it gets sun this way. It gets sun in the morning. You can kind of see it coming through here a little bit. But it kind of gets dappled and shaded out. Once again, I got a couple of limbs I got to take out this tree. I want to take out this tree anyway. I'm tired of them dropping all the stuff in my car. But don't be afraid to plant in the shade, y'all. And don't be thinking, oh, I got to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get all these trees cut down. These people telling you to clear cut your land, they crazy as hell. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to show you something. Depending on what kind of soil you have. And see, y'all will think I'm crazy. Because I'm going to tell you this. Because the people telling you to clear cut your land don't know nothing about topography and how it works. Y'all see this right here? That's a root. I don't know what tree that go to and I don't care. But that's a root. But I want you to notice something. You notice how it was lower on this side than this side? My property is higher up there and lower down here. When it rains, and my neighbor's property is even higher. This whole neighborhood slopes that way. Because my neighbor on that side, her property really drops off. Now, when it rains, because of the ground being sloped, water does what? Follows the path of least resistance. That water washes this way, this way, this way, across, all the way up there to the low part of the neighborhood. What do these roots do? You see behind this root actually acted like a retaining wall. When you come out here to good rain, you can see the water washing over this, almost like a waterfall. You see what happens behind it? It washes dirt this way. And I really can't show you real good. It really shows after a good rain. You can see how the water has just pushed what I like to call silt. That's what rivers and stuff, they push the dirt, the sand, anything that'll move. And you can see it where it's all been pushed this way and washed this way. If I did not have these roots, as long as the roots of them trees, all these big trees, y'all want to know what happened to this ground? It'll all wash away. It will all wash away. And for people talking about, oh, trees so close to your house, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. A lot of people scared of trees, but y'all need to quit being scared of trees. And I think you should have a healthy respect for it, and you should think about it before you do it. This tree is about 15 feet from my foundation. That might be 12 feet. It's either 12 or 15 feet from my foundation. My house is on piers. I don't have to worry about my foundation as far as roots pushing the foundation up as much. If your house is on a slab, yeah, you got some things to contend with, but that's why I'll never buy a house on a slab again. This tree here was sick, and it had a huge limb hanging over my tree, over my house. And the limb itself was probably as big as this tree is. And it was hanging over my house, and this tree was halfway dead. This tree is over 100 years old. I'm going to turn it into a sculpture. If you're wondering why I had it cut off and cut up that high, because I'm going to turn it into a sculpture. I'm going to knock all the bark off of it. But anyway, that's another story. I'm going to put that on my DIY channel. Anyway, yes, I had this tree cut down because I didn't want that limb to fall on my house. And no, you shouldn't have trees this large planted right up next to your foundation. Like, for instance, if this tree was 1 foot from that house, I would have cut it down. But it was not that far. This one right here was sick. But then, I don't know, I had all the top cut out of it. It's 100 years old, too, and it won't die. It just keeps growing back. But whatever. So, y'all got to keep it. Let me show y'all up here, too. All through my yard is roots. I have told y'all before that's why I'm gardening in raised beds, because I'm not going to fight with this ground. See these roots here? These are huge roots. I'd bet these were from the pine tree. I have huge roots in my yard. Without these roots, all this ground would move and my house would move, because my house sits on piers that's on the soil. Think of roots as like a network of webbing or rebar. Like when you do concrete, you put rebar in it. Why? To give that rebar strength. Without roots in the ground moves, especially the type of ground that I have. Here goes some more roots. All these roots here. So when you cut down them trees and all them roots die and they rot and you don't have no rebar in the ground holding your dirt in place, you're susceptible to make your ground shift. And if your ground shifts, your house will shift too. So that's just word to the wise. For those that don't know about topography and all that kind of stuff, and how pretty much everything in nature has a purpose, more than one purpose in what you think. Yeah, you think that shade tree is just giving you shade, but it's also giving its ground foundation and structure, and it's holding your dirt in place. Once again, if you have a basement or you're on a slab, it's a little bit different. You know, you have to adjust for that. But, you know, don't be so fast to just hack down all the trees. Because honestly, a food forest is what it is. I found out a lot of these fruit trees in the wild, you'll find apples growing in the middle of a forest, completely shaded. It just is what it is. I mean, y'all go out and really look at nature and really look at how things grow without human assistance. All right, because however it's growing without human assistance, them usually the healthiest trees. I've walked up in the woods before and seen trees loaded down with fruit. They ain't get no fertilizer, they ain't get no water, no human intervention, but the tree just be loaded down. So you don't always need to think, oh, I can't grow because it's in shade. Shade might actually be beneficial to you. So that's my time. This video is already too long. I got other stuff I got to film out here today, y'all. So till next time, I'll see you guys later.